Hey, what's up, Trails Collective? This is Ian and Ellie here for the weekly rundown for July 29th, 2020. It's our hope to take you through a bit about what's shaking in the regional trail community, from events to FKTs to products we're checking out, to trail work projects, to maybe events eventually that are happening in stores or group gatherings or whatever it might be, really trying to cue you in. And also as an opportunity to provide you some voices out in the from the collective. So we may not be rolling in any here tonight, but always looking for clips from out in the collective. Let us know if you've got an adventure you want to share, recap an event you participated in, or just some reflections on how things are for you at the moment. Let us know, particularly also for those out there, if you have your, radar on for event registrations that are opening, whether it still be for this year or for next year, particularly events that sell out quick, let us know. There was one that I missed, I think Heiner Trail Challenge that went live a couple weeks ago, and is one that fills up pretty immediately. I want to give you the heads up there so that you can get on it if you're interested, but it'll take me relying on you to let me know, because I'm not always going to catch them. So let's see. So what's happened out there, this past week? On my end, at least in the shop where I am at the moment, I've started looking at some of the trail lines, or lines as a whole, for spring of 2021. Some cosmetic or some upper changes to some of the shoes, but more of the larger updates tend to come in the summer and fall windows. What have I been using on my own? I've dipped into this past week getting a couple runs into the Mad River TR2. For those of you that saw the reviews earlier, this was my choice shoe and one of my most favorite shoes of all time coming out of 2019. My first couple runs so far, I think I'm still going to like the TR1 a little bit better. You can tell and feel some of the updates to the model in terms of maybe a thicker, maybe more resilient or durable upper. They did ditch the gusseted tongue, which I was a fan of the TR1's gusseted tongue that had on there, so I'm not exactly thrilled with that. Outsole traction's pretty similar. In any case, I'll take you through a more detailed review, hopefully in the next couple weeks. But that's what's on my foot at the moment for some of the runs. Also have had some continued miles into the VJ Max shoe. Still waiting to maybe hear some further feedback from teammate Ben Nephew as he punishes it a little bit, as well as from another friend, Rob Seltzer, who tends to just destroy shoes. So we'll bring you a little bit on the VJ Max, hopefully here in the next couple weeks as well. Continue to put some more runs into the Ultimate Direction Hydro Skin Short past week or so, something we reviewed this past year. It's actually been selling pretty well in the shop. I think it's a really functional, pretty dialed in short for somebody who's looking for hydration or storage in the short itself. Check it out. Also, some gear out on some of our wear testers. One which I'll hopefully be able to provide you some feedback is from a friend who's wear testing several women's specific vests right now. In the mix there would be one of the Salomon Hydro Skin women's sets. There's a responsive vest from Raid Light here. There's two different versions we've got in the shop. And then there's a Basham vest from Ultraspire, I believe, in the mix. And then maybe also one from Nathan that she has going. So hopefully providing you, at least from one or two wear testers' vantage points, what's out there in terms of the best women's vest for 2020. So stay tuned for that. Let's see, what else rolled in this past week? We got some new gear for the Trails Collective starting to roll in. One of the things that I've been wearing quite a bit this past year, which I guess has been the rage for a bunch of years now, has been the truckers. So we got in the first Trails Collective trucker right here. Pretty slick design, got to say, from Boco. Let us know if you are interested in one of those. And then we also have in the hat that I've really been living in since it's been hot, particularly the past couple weeks, has been this mesh style, the duckbill style from Patagonia. This one from Boco, and it's the inaugural Trails Collective version out. And as an opportunity now, some of those who have been on board to support us as Patreon supporters, helping to get the Trails Collective off the ground. Thank you so much. Your swag is nearly here. We've still got some neck gaiters or buffs to go, and maybe a couple other things that will roll in. So to thank some of you who have already been supporting us month over month, Jeff Holbrook, Corey West, Ron Herkins of Goat Factory Media and Photography, Grace Langhine, Eric Kozak, who we'll mention here in the episode here tonight, Jay Kelly, Carson Albanese, who took the win at the Cayuga Trails 50 here in Ithaca a week or two ago, Jay Durand, Brian and the crew from Steep Endurance, thank you so much, and we'll plug some of those events tonight for updates. Richard Rushka, thank you so much, and the Ice Empress and Coach Sayard Tanis, thank you all. For those who might look to support us and, again, help to really get this thing founded and off the ground, first and foremost is just spreading word throughout your communities, sharing these posts, getting people to tune in if you can. And if you have any amount, as little as you can contribute per month to help us cover at least some of the overhead in the beginning, that would be huge. So thanks. So let's see, what's been happening out here. Results this past weekend in two events that have gone in virtual format. One is the Jug End Loop Ultra in Egremont, Massachusetts. They have a 4.2, 27-mile, and 6-hour distance or version within the event. The semi-virtual with runners needing to run on the actual course, but on their own sometime in July. So far, I got 10 entrants in the 27-miler, 11 in the 4.2, and 35 in the 6-hour. The Facebook threads associated show some pretty good activity out there. One including, and we'll plug it here, from Ben Griffin. He put in 31.5 miles in just under 6 hours with 4,200 feet of ascent in the loops. And also of note, he also plugged it, just happened to be his stats coming off of a Sunto watch. So one of the things in the news this week impacted a lot of people with the Garmin ransomware incident. Looks like people are just starting to be able to upload again. But it was crazy how that played out in some of the social media in terms of it just being a tense topic, which I think is completely ridiculous. For myself, unless I'm mapping or just on a rare occasion, I don't run with anything like a watch or phone or anything like that. So to see the freak out mode when Garmin goes down or anything like that, and then the responses, I think it's pretty funny and ridiculous. But for all those who were put out, and if it doesn't show on Garmin, I guess it didn't count. I'm sorry you lost a week or so of running here. But in any case, to Ben Griffin, nice work putting up some mileage and some ascent there with the Jug End Loop Ultra. We'll plug the registration link here, but I believe it closed down for their event just this past Friday. Another one for the Schnipsit Striders, Soapstone Assault in Somers, Connecticut, also gone virtual. It's a classic 5.5 mile course with 1,500 feet of gain and 6 hours event to be run between July 25th and August 2nd. So far, 35 entrants in the 6 hour, 49 entrants in the 5 miler. And got to mention some pretty slick awards that they've plugged photos of by Ragged Cuts out of Connecticut. Touch base with Ragged Cuts here this evening. Maybe we can get them to weigh in as a Trails Collective entity in our region. It looks like they make really slick awards, and we'll plug some of the photos. So if you have a need for an event coming up or want to plug it for one of your RDs, and as an RD, I'm always looking for new opportunities for swag or awards or whatever. It's good to keep it local or at least regional. So for sure, check out Ragged Cuts and what they have going for awards. And then for those interested in the Soapstone Assault, we'll plug it. Registration is live, still on Ultra sign up. On the FKT front, it's interesting to see that FKT has continued to build in just national awareness. There was an article, I think, that was linked on our segment on NPR this week. I don't have the link at the moment. Maybe I'll plug it in editing. But it's just interesting how people are commenting on it. In Connecticut, Andrew Burford lowered the mark on the Naugatuck Trail in both the one-way version, and he kept a steady pace ahead of Ben Ristau's marks from April, taking 10 minutes off on the one-way out and another 10 on the way back. Nice work, Andrew. In Massachusetts, Iain Ridgway reclaimed his title in the Worcester, not sure which one that is there, East-West Trail. Covered 23 kilometers in 1 hour, 57 minutes, just under 20 minutes quicker than his opening mark on the segment just from May. So that's some pretty serious improvement in short order. Nice work, Ian. New Hampshire, Grace Long set a mark of 4 hours, 38 minutes on the Cardigan Mountain State Park Loop. In New Jersey, Allison Baca lowered Lauren Longfield's time for the short but burly Mount Tammany Loop to 38 minutes and 57 seconds on the 23rd, just a couple days ago, only to be bested 2 days later by 3 seconds, with Lauren Longfield charging back to keep her title. So nice work, ladies. It's a pretty burly loop. In Pennsylvania, Bob Stewart covered the 85-mile Susquehanna Trail System loop in 1 day, 18 hours. Ben Robinson set a mark on 3 hours, 50 minutes on the absolutely beautiful West Rim Trail, which traces high above the beautiful Pine Creek Gorge, and an opening mark for a supported effort of that 3 hours, 50 minutes. And it was 30 minutes under Eric Kozik's unsupported time from June of this year. So Ben Robinson, many maybe in the region or at least the Pennsylvania trail scene know as just a stud, and that's a pretty phenomenal mark. So nice work, Ben. And an effort we plugged in the past 2 weeks, speaking of him, trail goat Eric Kozak sent the Mid-State Trail in a record time this past week. A really amazing effort, cool group and community and friends that came out to support it. He covered the 346 miles in 6 days and 6 hours, ascending over 55,000 feet. Eric, congrats, man. That's pretty incredible. Nice work. So something each week that we'll take you through, or at least most weeks where there's something to mention, is Ellie. Ellie Pell will take you through a little bit what's shaking in the, I guess, podcast or videocast world. Summation, if any of these pique your interest, for sure go in and listen to the full episodes. But here's your rundown. Take it, Ellie.
Hey, Trails Collective. Ellie here, and after a week off, I can honestly say I missed you guys. It felt kind of weird, but I really needed to take a little bit of a rest last week. And it was also kind of light, as Ian said, on the podcast and media. So I figured, when the universe is conspiring with me, I should just go take a nap and not do any filming. But anyway, I'm back, tons of energy, so let's dive right into the media for this week. Chris at Running Inside Out put out a 4-hour show. Yes, 4 hours. 4 Rochester Trail Running original gangsters, and yes, I got through it all. Chris talks with Davin Oskvig, which I did do an interview with him for the TC interview series, so that'll be coming out in the next couple weeks too. Mike Weldon and Jamie Hobbs, the most fascinating and repeated guests after 4 years of Chris doing his show. Chris has also told me that this might be the last show for a while, and what a way to go out. These guys have so much knowledge, experience, and humility about trail running, and so they made this podcast feel like you were literally sitting in the living room or wherever they were with them. They talk about shoes, running in the era of COVID, lack of races, where they want to run, and much, much more. It turns out if you drink before you go to sleep and then you wake up during the night, it's hard to get back to sleep. So Weldon isn't sleeping very much. Davin doesn't run on Sundays because it's the Lord's Day, and instead he runs a cross-training boot camp for his daughter that he designs as play. Jamie is busy running 10 miles after eating a full dinner, parenting, and setting FKTs so then Davin can go and take them. Don't miss this show. It was really funny and really wonderful. Speaking of Chris, our podcast, Hamstrings and Heartstrings, we still plan to go ahead full steam. We put out a show last week called So Much More Than Zero, discussing running fast from murder hornets and running fast in a time trial. We talk about the best way to press tofu and getting back into a groove. Chris and I plan to record every week or every other week at least, and we're not going to do that 4-week lag like we did for the month of June. The gang at Cultra missed Becky this week, but they talked about race strategy, hydration, nutrition, equipment, and mental toughness while recounting their recent efforts at the 104 dumbass miles on the Pennaqueck River Trail in Connecticut. Bill Aldenhall, special guest, and they determined who has the alleged FKT. This podcast was also a long one, about 2 hours, but there was a lot of good information there. Jimmy talks about how he knows when he needs to eat, which is usually if he's listening to music and he starts skipping every song, that means he's low on sugar. Fred talks about not having a race strategy. Art talks about eating hash browns from the top of a car after a raccoon had gotten into them. So it was quite the episode, and I really enjoyed listening to it. The gang also released a podcast with JJ Duran as a part of their Culture Personality series. They also mentioned JJ during the 2-hour episode about the 104 miles. He had come out to support them, and he also ran a 50K with them on the trail. The trail was a five mile looped course, and so they had 8 at 2 points, and it sounded like a pretty solid day, even if they were dodging the cops. In our Trails Collective media this week, I put out an interview with Amelia Kaufman, one of my best friends and a local Ithaca legend. Amelia works at Finger Lakes Running Company and is spending a lot of time on the bike during COVID to maintain her fitness. But also, she just likes it. She likes going out and riding all day and seeing friends. Amelia is a great running partner for me because she's so chill. She's calm, cool, and collected, and it really helps my type A personality just chill the fuck out. This Friday, I'm putting out an episode with Jeff Adams, who finished the second edition of the Quarantine Backyard Ultra on July 11th with 175 miles. This guy is no joke. We talked about his long path FKT, which he set back in September, running long instead of running fast, and much more. Here's a clip from that. In a weird way, I mean, having as much experience as you do, running for 2 hours, it's kind of like your body gets used to it. Did you feel towards the end of the week, or however long you did it, you were getting stronger, or did you feel more run down?
No, I felt really good, actually. I felt pretty strong because my last run was a 59-mile run, and I had this same exact pace as the first day.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about your FKT. So in September of 2019, this past September, you did the long path FKT. So could you explain where that is and why you decided to do that? I've got a few interviews lined up this week with the winner of the Cayuga Trails 50-miler, Sophie Kotok, and a Rochester Fast female and winner of the Trails Rock Last Man Standing, Katie Guidu. I hope I said that correctly. Hopefully I'll learn. Who knows? And then in the larger context of this week, apparently Jim Walmsley decided to go for the Hard Rock FKT last Thursday, but dropped out with stomach issues. As Andy Jones-Wilkins said on Twitter, Jim keeps flying way too close to the sun, but he's keeping us all accountable. That's all from me this week. Back to you, Ian.
So events running in the weekend ahead. An FKT attempt is being run as we're editing, starting tomorrow morning as I'm filming here. Davin Oskvig is going after the 138-mile Northville Placid Trail, starting in Lake Placid tomorrow. I guess technically now, 12:30 a.m. as I'm filming here. So he's starting in just a few hours from Lake Placid and heading south. Good luck, Davin. Go get it, buddy. And if he nails it, he should nail it. Pretty phenomenal athlete. So good luck to you, Davin. Some of the events that have been canceled that would have been running, the Ragnar Appalachians in Brewston Mill, West Virginia, Allegheny Front Trail Run in Phillipsburg, PA, Kanawha Trace in Ona, West Virginia. I'm not sure I pronounced that right. I probably didn't. The Swain Mountain Race in Swain, New York. Forest Frolic Trail Runs in Virgil, New York. And then one, which I'm continue to be perplexed on, the Loopy Looper 12-hour in Pennsauken, New Jersey. I can't tell because every time I try to click through something functional on your website, I get a security risk warning. So Loopy, check that, as either we don't need any more viral spreads in 2020 or you're just confusing and losing people. Or if any of you know what's up with the Loopy Looper, loop me in because I'm perpetually confused. Those that have gone virtual, the Beast of Burden Summer Ultra in Lockport, New York, 25, 50 mile, and 100 mile. Usually they run two, one in the hottest point of the summer and one in the coldest point of winter. Pretty flat, I think goes along an inlet, but can be pretty burly in terms of just weather and exposure. They moved to a virtual format called the Gimme Shelter 2020 Beast of Burden Ultra Marathon. So check it out. Entrants can still, I think, run wherever they are, but as long as they get in the mileage and under the cuts, they'll get either buckles or medals by mail. And registration is live on Ultra Sign Up. The point-to-point in Brownville, Vermont, also moved to virtual. Entrants are to ride or run their own course of choosing, share it online, and still use it as an ability or an option or a method to help raise funds for supporting Vermonters via their food bank. So check it out. That's the point-to-point in Brownsville, Vermont. Running is an in-person live event, the Dahlgren Heritage Rail Trail Run in King George, Virginia. I believe their social media post at least said Virginia, I think, is scheduled to move into phase 3, or at least in their area, on August 1st, and they're hoping that permits can be resubmitted or approved at that point. So they're moving forward in their planning. It's a half marathon and a 50K. They have 77 entrants in the 50K so far and 52 in the half marathon. Registration is live on Ultra Sign Up, and we will plug it in the show notes. Next weekend, so August 2nd, August 2nd, we'll take you through actually 8th, 9th, and 10th events that would have also running but have been canceled. There's the East End Trail Races in Easton, Mass. Again, that would have been this coming weekend. And then the following weekend on the 8th, 9th, 10th, the Northwoods 50 and 100 in Island Pond, New Hampshire. I'm not sure whether a date was actually ever pinned down for that one, but not running this year. Run for the Trail 7K in Dilltown, PA. Housatonic River Brewing 5K in New Milford, Connecticut. The Tark Summer Classic in Medfield, Mass. Eastern States 100, pretty marquee event in Waterville, PA. The GPS Too Hot to Trot in Baltimore, Maryland. The Bradbury Mountain Breaker in Pownell, Maine. Actually, I have no idea what that one. Website attempts to verify that event even exists keep coming up short. So similar to the Loopy Loop. If anybody knows what's up the Bradbury Mountain Breaker, I still can't figure out what that website's all about. And then Forge the Gorges in Moravia. So that slate all canceled for 2020 with the COVID considerations. Those that have gone virtual. For August 6th, there's the Luna Run in South Berwick, Maine. It's a 3K, 5K, 10K. And they're virtual. And it sounds like it's a ladies' run. And one of their posts says, "Ladies, this year, now more than ever, we need to join together virtually. The global pandemic has changed the way we do things, but we won't let it change our goals or have us feel disconnected. I will not let the current state of the world keep us down. I'm creating a virtual experience for all of you amazing women. We will have a virtual community from June to August each week as we inspire each other, lift each other's spirits, and keep moving and working towards our own personal goal." So check it out. That is the Luna Run. Entry includes a community of amazing women in our Facebook group where they'll have weekly virtual meetups, weekly training plans, weekly motivation, and more. So check it out in addition to the swag, and registration is live on Run Sign Up. Another one that went virtual is the Husky Ruck Memorial 10K in New Gloucester, Maine. And on August 7th, let's see, I think these are in person or actually running versus virtual. There's On the Bacon Trail, the Naylor Mill Trail 7K. Bills itself as easily the toughest trail in the Delmarva and the most delicious. There's bacon and freeze pops at the end. Maybe that's still happening. I'm not sure on this year. They said it's miserable, hot, humid, and trails that never seem to end. This race is not recommended unless you have run at least a 10K and have run on trails. But they welcome everyone. And something that's pretty sweet, registration is live on Ultra Sign Up. And why you should probably sign up would be for the sweet custom bacon and scrapple masks that all of the entrants are going to get. So for sure, pick up one of those sweet masks and use it well at the event. There's the Ragged 75 stage race in Danbury, New Hampshire. I was signed up for the 50K, which I think was supposed to be the 50K championships this year, along with a couple friends. But the 50K was out, but I believe they've continued with the 75-mile stage race, which starts next week. I tried to check it out a bit online. They have the entrance list still hidden, so I can't tell whether registration is really still live and whether people are signing up or not. And I don't think I've gotten responses when I've tried to reach out to their entity historically. But maybe I'll get a response here. But check it out. Registration, I think, is live on Ultra Sign Up, and we'll plug it in the show notes. Moosalamu Ultra in Goshen, Vermont. appears to be running with 55 entrants in the 14 miler and 74 in the 36 miler. But registration closes past Friday, so if you're not in, out of luck. And the Mighty Mosquito 99-mile trail run and relay in Honeoye Falls, New York, Rochester area, if I'm remembering right at the moment. The Mighty Mosquito is Western New York's only 99-mile trail run. I'm guessing that's maybe the only 99-mile trail run in the country, maybe. But I'm sure most just go for 100 there. But in any case, the run's challenging scenic route on your own or team up with friends. Actually, this year I think it looks like maybe the relay isn't happening per the COVID restrictions. So it's probably just the individual 99-mile effort. And right now there's 30 entrants signed up. But it runs, I think, loops in what's a really beautiful Mendon Ponds, rolling, nice, fairly wide trails there. Definitely easy to socially distance and keep a bit of spacing between yourself and another runner. So check it out, Mighty Mosquito 99-mile trail run. We'll plug the registration also in the show notes on Ultra Sign Up. And then looking forward to some others that aren't necessarily in the next couple weeks. I touched base with Brian from Steep Endurance today just to check in on a couple. And he's got 3 that he's still planning on running in Connecticut, still in the fall. There's Macedonia, which I'm signed up for. Join me out there September 13th in Kent, Connecticut. There's 12, 25, and 50K options. There's Angevine Farm, half marathon and 50K that runs on September 27th in Warren, Connecticut. There's the Mohawk 8-hour vertical challenge on the mountain, 600-foot climb ascent and then back down, and I think it's an 8-hour. So see what you can knock out there. Another one outside of Steep Endurance that's still running also in that neck of the woods. September 26th is Live Loud Events Blue to Blue Challenge. Bills itself as Connecticut's hardest 50K, running some of Connecticut's most technical and gnarly trails. First the Regicides and then the Quinnipiac Trail, and it looks really beautiful. So September 26th looks like it's still live. Check it out on Ultra Sign Up. Another one, really good reviews for friends that have gone down and run it in the past, but also looks still live. The Green Monster Trail Challenge. They have a 15, 25, and 50K in the mountains surrounding beautiful Wellsboro, PA. Check it out. Registration also open on Ultra Sign Up. So it looks like that's what's rolling, what's running, what's coming. Let us know always if we miss something. We can plug it or in comments afterward, particularly on Facebook threads. And for all of you out there listening, again, if you know events that are running, particularly that registrations that open and fill up quickly, let us know what they are. If you've got an event running, I guess group runs aren't necessarily happening too much right now, but if you do, or if you're a shop that has an event in the store, if you're a trail maintenance entity that's got a trail work project coming up, for sure let us know and we'll plug it. Always looking for more people to test gear in reliable fashion. Thanks all those of you who have been helping us so far, but let us know and reach out. So this is one part of the Trails Collective. I'm pretty close, I think, to marketing a bit and putting it out to my the connections and email lists that I have. So several of you may get a newsletter or a digital communication coming your way, and hopefully we'll start getting more eyes on here. So thanks all for tuning in this week. Thanks, Ellie, for your part in breaking it down, and we will see you next week. All right, Trails Collective, connected by trails. See ya.